Hey guys, TechNation, I am so excited to bring you another Tools of the Trade live demo. And today I have a special treat for you because we are not talking about a tangible product that we're going to hold and showcase and break down for you. We're talking about a resource that is going to be so important to the biomedical and the HTM industry, specifically those that are looking for career advancement, or maybe some that are looking to get into the industry, as well as, our YPs at MD. I hope you're tuned in because this is going to be a great conversation for you as well. We are talking with Newell, JC Newell at NRC, and that's Newell Recruiting and Consulting. It's a veteran-owned business with over 20 years of experience in the HTM industry. The team there, they serve the HTM community in areas of growth and development and sustainment, even retention, both on a candidate as well as an employer side. Today, you can see we're going to talk with the president and the CEO and a really good friend of mine in TechNation, Newell. She has a firm understanding of what is needed. She has held positions from Tech 1 to team lead to manager and director. And if you have your copy of the July TechNation, then on page 37, you saw that NRC was featured as the tool of the trade. And this is our opportunity to pick her brain. So before we jump in and get started, I'm going to remind everyone this is your chance to ask some live questions. So on that webinar dashboard that you have, you can scroll down to the question feature, send us over some questions. We'll get through as many as time allows. But Jewel, welcome to the Tools of the Trade live demo. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Jamie. Happy to be here. Happy to meet and see all of you guys. This is so awesome, and this is a great opportunity for NRC for me. Um, Everybody, a lot of people know me already. I'm like 100, so I've been out for forever. But the great thing about this is I started as a biomed, and I've come up in the biomed industry, and I just love and have such a passion for the field, and that's what drives me to do what I do every day. So a lot of what you see in the tools and the resources that I try to offer at NRC are just because I've seen what's been out there in the industry. I've heard from those out there. I hear their struggles, and I'm sitting here saying, okay, what can I do to help? And this is one of the things and ways that I would like to help.
I love that you're putting your experience to use to not only help the next generation, but help those that are already actively in the biomedical industry, which is a lot of what we're going to talk about today. And
Yeah.
TechNation, we have so many resources that we're going to share with you over the next couple of minutes that I want to go ahead and kind of tease a few of them that you can go ahead and get your hands on that webinar dashboard that you're going to use to ask some questions here in a minute. There's also a handout feature, and Jewel was kind enough to provide some resources for us. We're going to talk about those as we get through our conversation, but you will see some fun things like an interview cheat sheet is down there, a PDF that you can download, a great coupon that we're going to talk about a little bit later. And of course, there's a pre-show planner for the MD Expo that is coming up in October in Orlando, Florida. Jewel, you're going to be there, right?
Absolutely. I would not miss it.
Good. Well, of course, that pre-show planner is going to give you an overview of the education that we have planned for you, the amazing location, the Crib Royale is going to be the host hotel, and a VIP code for anyone that wants to register. Registration is now open, and that VIP code is applicable for anyone that is working in a healthcare or a hospital, active military or student, and it's a great way for you to come and get some free CE credits from the ACI by attending our education and having some fun with us at networking events. And Jewel, I believe you are working a little with our friends over at HTM Jobs. So
yes, I am.
a little information about that amazing resource and what they can help you do and how you can find out more about that. But you know what, Joel? Let's jump into some questions. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Well, I guess let's start at the beginning. What prompted you to start NRC? Tell us about that.
Oh man, that was honestly speaking, it's a lot of history, but that was just need. It's just a need. Ever since I was an instructor at Brown Mackie College, and it was a new program at the college, and a lot of people didn't know about it. I used to steal students from other programs, because it was so new. Talking to more women that were in different fields, telling them about this field because we had such a lack of diversity, such a lack of women out there. So I felt as though if it was my mission, if you came there after a business degree, I changed your mind real quick. Come on over to Biomed. But in doing that, when it was time for them to go out and find jobs, our career manager or person didn't understand the field well enough to help them to find a position. So I took it upon myself to go out there and network and use my vast amount of contacts to try to find places for for my grads to go and for them to learn and have internships and things of that nature. When it was time for them when they finished their internships, a lot of them got hired on right where they were because they were able to stand up to the challenge of being an entry level biomed tech. But it helped me to create relationships, and the more I did it, I started working outside of the school, helping entry level technicians and people who just graduated get jobs at no cost. Just me trying to continue to add to the industry because that's just the passion I have for it. How can we just keep helping people find jobs? Let me help you find out where you'll be comfortable at and take a holistic approach to you. And so that just for me, after the years of working in the industry and always helping out on the side, I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So I LLC, NRC, HCM, and decided to do this full time. It was like a no brainer for me, but it's something that I absolutely love. I absolutely love to do. It's crazy. I think I can do resumes in about 10 minutes at this point. I've been doing them so long. But it's also just talking to people to find out what they need in order for them to be happy at work and helping to match them with the right organization that's a fit for them and helping the hiring manager or the director or manager find the right person that's a fit for their organization. It's this kismet.
I love that. And something you mentioned, being able to write a resume in 10 minutes. Let's
Yes.
talk about some of the services that you can offer. And I know I alluded in the intro that these services are going to touch from a candidate perspective as well as an employer or a company perspective. So maybe give us a high level overview of what you can offer the community.
Okay, so with my organization right now, I work with anyone looking for that next great place to work. And in working with you, I review your resume. If it needs to be redone, I ask your permission and I'll restructure your resume just so it can speak more to who you are and pull out those things that you might not know that you have experience doing, but highlighting those things. I also work with you on cover letters if you need to create a cover letter. But I love doing mock interviews with you. If you do get that interview, let's get face to face. Let's talk about what you need to do for the interview and how to prep for that interview, as well as if you're having a telephone interview or a panel. But other things that I offer is if you are an employer and you're looking for that right fit, I talk to the candidate. I vet them for you. I'm asking you, what do you need in a technician? What do they need to be? How do they need to be? What specialties do they need to have? What soft skills are you looking for them to have in particularly? And I match up the right candidate with you so they'll be a fit for your team. I also work with temp workers and temp staffing. So if you have techs coming up that want to go for Christmas vacation or
Right?
want to go out for Thanksgiving and you need somebody to step in for them, I will send you that person and make sure that they're on time and they're doing a fantastic job for you. I do drug screen and background checks to make sure that they have everything that they say they have and that they have the experience that you need. But more than that, I can consult. If you need me to come in to do, I can assess your technicians. A lot of people have techs that say they can do all these things, but then you sit here and it's like, well, can he really? Well, I can come in and I can assess that tech. Do they know how to do the things they say that they can do? Do they have the soft skills? Are they hurting in soft skills? Let me train them in soft skills at your facility to make sure that they can be the tech you need them to be and that can enhance their future. I can also consult on HCM projects, any kind of project management, implementations. I also do cybersecurity risk assessments and medical device risk assessments, capital equipment planning, those types of things. So out of all of that, I'm very well rounded, but I've been out there a long time, so I can do a little bit of everything.
What I love so much is it really is your expertise that you're applying to both of these situations. When
Yes.
you're working with the candidate, you're gifting them the experience that you've gained over the years as you've moved up from a tech one all the way to a director. And what I was taking away as you were talking about the employer services and the consulting, something I hadn't thought about is that consulting service where Jewel, the former biomed, can come in and give a good assessment and see, like you said, are these techs well versed in all of the
Yes.
modalities and these special skills that they say that they have. I feel like that's such a unique quality that your average recruiting company, or maybe a national recruiting company that has such a broad focus, not one niche focus for our industry, couldn't even bring that to the table. So what a gift it is to work with NRC and have a resource. Maybe tell me a little about the target audience. Who are you going after, or who do you feel like you're best suited to help succeed?
All right, now, although I work with anyone out there, my target is to help that entry level, that brand new tech, because a brand new tech, when they turn in their resume for a job, they're in a stack of other brand new techs. All
Right.
of them are considered to have the same kind of skill at the same level. So what they need is advocacy. They need someone who can come in and speak towards them and speak for them. But they also need preparation so that when they go into the interview, they're not thrown off by the questions that they're being asked. They can handle themselves professional and really stand out. My job is to help them to present the best of themselves so that that hiring manager can say, you know what, I want that guy. But it's also to have someone come and speak before you to say, you know, I have this candidate that's looking to hire you and hire with you, and let me tell you a little bit about them. Because everybody, it all says the same thing: associate's degree or certificate from this school, but it doesn't highlight all the things that they've done or the internships that they had or what they worked on while they were on those internships. And that's my job to help pull that out of them so that it can be pushed to the hiring manager.
Right. I love what you just said. You're almost a champion for the candidate when you're able to contact the employer and speak on their behalf. I know years ago, probably, gosh, almost 12 years when I joined MD Publishing, one of the hardest things for your resume is making sure that it's kind of in that sweet spot. You don't want it too long, but you
Right.
still want to make sure that you're putting ample information to highlight not only your skills but your accomplishments. Is that something that you're working with candidates through these conversations that you're having to make sure that they're pulling out everything that's needed for a resume?
Yes, absolutely. One of the biggest problems that an entry level will have is that they've never been a biomed before. So
Yeah.
they just have previous experience working different jobs, but may or may not have had any kind of electronics background or anything like that. It might be Burger King or something like that. But what we have to do in those instances is word your resume so it speaks to your soft skills, your customer service skills, how you handle situations, how you handle confrontations, or even how you approach people, or whether you're a team-oriented person or are you more a solitary worker?
I love that. Well, I have an attendee question. This attendee would like to know, how can your tools be most effective?
Well, my tools can be most effective if you tell me what you need out of them. If we have contact in the beginning, so I need to know what you're looking for. So if you're saying, "Hey, I need help getting ready for a job," okay, if you tell me that, I'm like, okay, is it the whole shebang or you just need one part? Well, if you tell me, hey, I need the whole shebang because I'm just getting out of here, well, I'm going to take you. I'm going to look at your resume. We're going to rewrite your resume. We're going to get on the phone and we're going to talk about what you want. Then we're going to talk about how to best assert yourself to get that. Then we're going to talk about if you have a phone call or interview, how you need to stand. When it comes down to your background, what it needs to look like, how you need to prep for any kind of interview or phone call or talk. But it's about how to show yourself in a manner where you're comfortable and that you feel confident. And that's another thing is my tools can be most effective when we talk and you're listening to what I'm saying, because I can't tell you everything to do. A lot of this on you, but I am going to give you those tips so that before you get to an interview, you go sit in the mirror, you watch yourself. Am I fidgeting too much? Am I moving around too much? When I laugh, do I laugh with my whole mouth? On those things are that, yes, but that's a no-no in an interview. The colors that you're wearing, how you're dressed. Are you being attentive to the person interview? So my tools are most effective when you talk to me and tell me what you're looking for. And then I can help gear our conversation and things I'm helping you with towards what you want.
I love that. Well, that was a great attendee question. I'm just going to take this opportunity to remind everyone that's listening. Again, that question feature is how you can submit your question, and we'll get to it as we move through this conversation today. Don't be shy. It's your chance to ask Jewel anything that you want,
Absolutely.
career advancement. The next question that we have is, why should companies and candidates work with you as opposed to recruiting agencies? I think this is because I mentioned some of those national agencies earlier, but what are the benefits or the perks of working with NRC?
Yeah. Number one, I take a holistic approach to you. I pay attention to you, what you want. You're just not another client or another number. I listen to you. We build a relationship, because I don't want you just to work with me for this job you're looking for. I want you to see me as a ready resource that you can always come back to and always work with. So I'm going to be that person for you. I'm also going to share with you my contacts, my guidance if needed. If you're saying, hey, Joel, I'm looking for a job and I want to be in this city or this state or whatever, well, I'm going to reach out there on your behalf. And I'm going to reach out to all of my personal contacts there to find out who has what. And then if they have something, I'm going to talk about you. And I'm going to tell them all about you. And then I'm going to ask you, hey, can I share your resume with them? They're interested. But more than that, I'm going to try my best to get you everything you want, from the pay to relocation allowance. So if you need help with your family, or if you need extra time before you start the job. For our employers out there, the reason you should work with me is because, number one, I'm very well connected. I'm going to find you that resource, that technician that specializes in what you need. And I'm going to make sure they have the amount of experience that you need. But I'm also going to talk to you as the employer about what is the culture of your organization? What type of person or what personality would have the best fit? Everybody doesn't like a person with a great sense of humor. A lot of
Right?
people want somebody who could chuck it up. So it's definitely one of those things. I want to make sure that I find you the right fit for your culture or
Right.
for your team so that they merge seamlessly when they get together. If you were to do a panel interview with a candidate that I found for you, they'll talk as if they've known each other for years. That's my job.
Right. Well, I want to circle back to something that you said. It is truly one of the benefits of working with NRC is your network.
Yeah.
I can attest from conferences and events that we've been to together. Jewel probably knows 90% of the people that come to
Yeah.
the conference and event, and it's not only because of your how long you've been in the industry, but it's your personality and how you can engage with each individual and get to know them to figure out how you're helping that person. I love that about you, and that's why I got really excited to be able to have this conversation with the TechNation community. I got an attendee question. You've
Okay.
mentioned soft skills a couple of times. Could you define soft skills or give us some examples of those?
Okay, so soft skills is how you operate every day. Like if you're a biomed tech at work, how you engage with the nursing staff, how you engage with the other managers and the your other team members. Do you know about adult to adult relationships or adult to adult conversations? That's what I was trying to say. Being able to have a difference of opinion with someone but still be able to talk it out without it turning into a shouting match. Learning
Right.
how to control yourself, but talk to your nursing staff or whatever in a way that they see that you're professional yet compassionate. That you know how to help influence a director when it comes down to equipment that they need. If they need to do replacement of capital equipment or something like that, they know they can come to you and you're approachable and you listen. These are your soft skills. Can you talk to someone? Can you go into a room and be able to work with the people in there and they're happy to see you? Not you just walk up and say, yeah, something broke. Where is it? You know, hey, how you guys doing? I heard that you guys, I received word that you had an item that was down. I'm here to take a look at it. Can you show me where it is? But just to be able to negotiate your work area, your workspace in a way that is inviting, you're approachable, and they're inviting you in it. You can be the best technician in the world, but if you lack soft skills, nobody's going to want you in their area to work on anything. They're going to hate it when you come, and most people might turn the other way and walk away with, oh, it's him, oh, it's her, but you
Right.
want them to invite you in because the more you got to think about this as a technician. If you have soft skills, not only do you're more likable on the floor, but the more you're around, they begin to trust you, and then they'll have that confidence in you. I've once heard a leader say, this technician takes forever to fix anything, but we kind of don't care because he's awesome. Why do they think he's awesome? Because of his soft skills. He goes in there and he knows how to say hello. He's helpful. He doesn't sit there and say, well, I can't look at it today. You need to put in a work order and I can get to it next week when they need something right now. It's just about being there for your people and knowing and relating to them in a way that you're taking care of them. Does that answer your question?
It did, and I feel like over the past 5 years, it has been the rise of the term emotional intelligence. And
Oh, yes.
a lot of,
Emotional EQ, EQ, yeah.
yeah, EQ2 is so big. That's one of my favorite books. Actually, top three of my books is Emotional Intelligence 2.0. And it really is kind of a workbook that you get to dig in and go chapter by chapter.
Yeah.
And it's it's really freeing. And it opens up so much when you understand the importance of reading a room and then
Yes.
acting accordingly to make sure, like you said, you can have a conversation. A difference of opinion is perfectly okay as long
Yeah.
as you continue the conversation after you discover the difference of opinions. The Next question that came in here, what is the sweet spot for resumes? What's your suggestion on length of resumes? This attendee says their resume could grow to 3 pages, but they feel that's overwhelming to an
Yes.
employer. What are some what's key information that should be included?
Okay, so let's talk about that. Uh, if you are an executive leader, that is the only time that your resume should go past 2 pages because you have so many years of experience and so many things you've done. But other than that, your resume should be 1 page, 2 max. Why? Because nobody has time to read all that. But there are great ways to make everything that you want to say fit into 1 page without going overboard. And it's how you separate your resume, how you section it off. Let's talk about number one. The top part of your resume under your name should be your objective. And your objective should be 3 concise statements about yourself, but they're inclusive of who you are as a person. You know, like I would say military trained and experienced biomedical equipment professional seeking a position with such and such company. One sentence.
Yeah.
Sentence two, focused, independent worker, ready to add value to your organization. 2. 3, quality driven and experienced professional, adept in compliance, regulatory, and maintenance. 3 sentences, concise, but look at everything I said about myself in those 3 sentences.
Bravo, that was great. And as someone that reads a good number of resumes from a sales perspective, how important is that? Because you've got to get them at the beginning to stand
Yes.
out and make sure that they continue reading that resume.
Oh yeah, your objective statement should be strong enough that when they read it, they say, dang, that's not who this is. Let me look at more, But then under your objective, we have your skill summary, and your skill summary should be 2 columns of 6 items each, 12 items to talk about your experience. And this is you just section off into statements what you have experience in. And you can say everything from 3 TJCs, DNAs, I'm sorry, DNVs, and state.
Yeah.
So they know you have you've been through inspections before. Or you can say, my first one is your first line under your skill summary should always be your cumulative years of experience. In HTM, I'll say 20 plus years of biomedical equipment technology, or HTM, or healthcare technology management. So let them know, hey, I ain't no newbie. I can bring it, but then going to make these qualitative statements, 2 rows of 6 to talk about what you've done. You don't need to go any more or less than that. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you don't need to go any more or less than that.
I love that. Well, once your resume stands out and you have piqued their interest, I know the next step is typically the interview. And again, attendees, this is one of the handouts that you can find in your handout section. Jewel has been kind enough to give you an interview cheat sheet. Maybe talk us through what this resource is when the attendees download it. What are they going to find on this cheat sheet? How's it going to help them?
Okay, so this particular interview cheat sheet, I kept saying, I said, well, this isn't really interview, it's resume and interview, but these are tips and hints to make you aware about what you need to do when you are writing your resume or if you're preparing for an interview. And like the first one I said, create 2 columns to list your experience and skills, but the first item needs to be your cumulative years of experience. But the second one, like align your experience statements with the job description. Whatever job you're applying, a lot of people feel as if, well, I have a resume from 2020. I'm just going to grab it and just add on my current experience. No, 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 no. You need to reread the job description for whatever job you're applying for and tailor your resume to that job. If there are things that you've done at a previous job, but it's not mentioned in your resume, but they're looking for it, then you need to go back and you need to add it as a blurb. It's important that you make sure, because a lot of HR companies look for keywords. And so it is wonderful if you look at what's in the resume, and even if you did a job and say, well, I did that a little bit, hey, you still did it. Put it in
Right?
there. You don't have to say that you're a professional at it, but you can say, I have experience with it. You're not saying I'm adept or I'm proficient, but you said, oh, I got experience. Too
Right.
easy. But work gaps. Oh my gosh, I get this all the time. I see two things. One, if you have been at a job for a year or less, don't put that on your resume. That is scary to anybody looking at you, period.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to leave it off and explain the work gap as you were caring for a loved one, going to school. If you were going to school, taking a sabbatical, you needed some time off or an extended vacation. Any of that works. It doesn't seem like, you didn't have a job or anything like that, but you can explain the gaps that way. But it's also important that if you have several jobs on your resume and they're less than 1 year, less than 2 years, it's a red flag. You look like a job hopper. Job
Right.
hopper is somebody who barely stays anywhere very long, but it gives you a very bad connotation. So be mindful of that. And if you unless you're a contract worker, 1099 contract worker, we expect for you to only be there at a 1 year or less or whatever, because you're there for a contract. So just be mindful of that. In other words, don't list references. It is not fair to your friends that if you just put them down as a reference and you don't tell them first, people just started calling, asking questions about you. It sounds like some kind of scam. Today, everything's a scam. You can't get an email from your bank without saying, hey, is it really my bank? So don't do that to your friends. If you put the statement available upon request under the section references, that will suffice. That's all you need. And then that gives you time, if they ask you for references, to reach out to those references that can speak the most and the best about you, and give them a heads up and say, hey, may I use you? And
Right.
then that way they automatically know when someone calls them, hey, I'm going to tell them the very best about you.
I love that. I want to circle back to something that you said early on there about tailoring your resume per position that you're applying to. And
Yes.
think that is so important and something that we've talked about in a couple of different venues, because like you said, you may not have put everything on that resume, but if you're applying to this job that has stood out to you and you see that they're asking for something that you have experience with, some key skill sets, then it is critical that that's included. And that's going to kind of take us to this next attendee question. I think they kind of tie together. How can candidates prepare their resume or an online application for review by AI systems? This is something
Oh, that is so
that
good.
where we
Okay.
are in this new age where AI
Yes.
systems are mining for keywords and
Yes.
data included on your resume. So how can you help a candidate prepare for that?
Okay, and that goes right back to what I said. Whatever job it is you're applying for, those key things that they're looking for in that job need to be in your resume, because when you upload your resume to AI, I have done this. When you upload it to AI is going to say, okay, I see that you have experience in this or you've worked with this, and they're going to ask you more questions about that particular topic. So before you give AI your resume, whatever job you're applying for, ensure that the things that they're looking for, their requirements, that you're listing those statements or something with that word in it, so that AI can pick that up. But the second part of this, and this is what I found to be true, is that as you're as you're going through and they have a requirement that don't have, that you don't have. If they say that they need someone who has experience with this particular software, let's say they want someone who knows Navolo, but you know ServiceNow, or you know Four Rivers. You can say, I know Four Rivers CMMS. AI would pick that up as, okay, he knows a computerized medical maintenance software, but he doesn't know Navolo. And then you can actually tie that into the questions that AI will ask you. So it's been great. I can tell you, I have used an AI for a job interview. Amazing, amazing. And if you guys want to know one, I will reach out to the person who made it and get you guys in touch with them. It's a phenomenal tool to use. I'm so ready for future for flying cars and stuff. Come on, Terminator. Ah,
Here we are. We're gonna all live in the Jetson cartoon together. You gotta
you
press a
got
button
that
and my
right.
dinner's gonna appear. I think
Yes.
that's great. That was an attendee. That was a great attendee question. I want to
Yeah.
kind of move us over a little to the employer and the consulting side that you do. Talk a little about that temp placement and the temp labor that you're working to build, because I know right now that's such an important topic that the TechNation community is focused on, both with the work that HTM Jobs does, but as this generation of biomed begins to retire.
Yes.
I hear really wants to retire and hang up their tool belt. They want to keep dabbling.
Yes.
How do you tie into your temp labor and placements?
So honestly speaking, when it comes down to temp labor, that's what it is. It is a lot of very well experienced, knowledgeable, certified. A lot of them are certified technicians who have just decided to take time away from work or retire altogether, but just don't really want to stop. And they just want to be able to control their time as to what they're given into what projects. These technicians I have found are they are um, what is it? They can hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And so they don't need anyone over their shoulder. You tell them what the project is, they're going there, they're focused, they're ready. I'm like, all right, this is what I'm here to do. But the great part about it is that they have the soft skills. They know how to talk to people. They know how to merge and work with your current team. They know how to fit right into the environment and can help, them when they have other problems. They are open to doing voluntary things like, hey, I see you got this piece of equipment been sitting on your shelf for, however many months. I got experience with that. You mind if I take a look? These are the type of people that you need, but they're ready to go. They are very knowledgeable. A lot of them specialize in things that you guys are looking for a full-time employee for. But if you need a temp just to come in and actually train with someone to teach them, use them for that. They have these specialties. They have certification in these. Even if you hire them for 2 months, that's 2 months that they can train somebody that you have full time on and have them ready to go. And it is not that much. It doesn't hurt you financially, that much because they're not all that expensive, So it's a great resource to have, a great tool to have. And then you build a relationship with that temp person so that if you do have a tech that's going out somewhere, you'll be able to pull that temp tech right back. They know your hospital, they know your team, then they can just come in and hit the ground running and work with you. But these people are out here, they have the skills, the knowledge, and the abilities to come in and help support your staff, whether it be for a week, a day, a week, a month, or a couple of months. Feel free.
Yeah. Well, let's stay focused on temp employment. An attendee wants to know if I did want to be a temporary employee, would I be an employee of NRC, or would I be paid by the facility that I was placed in?
Okay, so that can be either or. Sometimes when we get requests for temp placement, they go and they work directly for the facility. Others, NRC is a staffing solution, so you can also work under NRC. You will be an employee of NRC, a temporary 1099 contractor. You get paid every 2 weeks. You know, there are no real benefits for a 1099 contractor that's temporary, but we make sure you're paid every 2 weeks. Your travel is covered, your food is covered, your place to stay is covered. All you have to, and your rental car is covered if you need it. You just show up and do your work and you get paid.
I love that. And if I was a temp employee, should we worry about carrying liability insurance? Is that something that they would need if they're contract?
No, if they're contracted, if you were to work under me and I staffed you, you will be under my insurance. My insurance covers you.
Good, good. I feel like somebody's out there, they've been thinking about this for a while. Those were some pretty specific questions. So it sounds like a great way to stay in the industry while still having
Oh,
that
yeah.
freedom that sometimes you
Yeah.
want at a certain point. You want to be able to come and go and not necessarily a 8 to 5 every day, 40 hours a week. I love this question here. I'm entering the biomedical industry and I've been submitting several resumes. How can I get a competitive edge?
Okay. So if you are submitting several resumes, you need advocacy. You need someone to speak for you. But if you want a more competitive edge, it's about you actually reaching out and having a conversation with the people you're trying to work with, or reach out to someone who works for them on LinkedIn and find out about the culture.
Yeah.
Find out, what they're looking for, and then you can actually tailor your resume to meet more of that. But a lot of it also is why you should call NRC, because I can sit down with you and we can look at your resume and make it stand out more with other things that to match it up with the job description better, and pull out things that you might have in your past that you don't even know that you've already done, so that when employers look at you, you get that callback.
Well, let's talk about LinkedIn. You mentioned it, and I am a huge proponent of it, and I work really hard at growing my network, but specifically growing my network of key contacts within
Yes.
our industry. Where do you fall on the importance of LinkedIn? Do you think it's something that biomeds need to have a LinkedIn profile and keep up to date and be active?
Yes. So there are two things you need, honestly. You need a mid-range bench, number one, but you also need a LinkedIn profile. Mid-range bench primarily for the talk for the community when you have issues at work and you need help, definitely. But two, in LinkedIn is so that you can actually network. But let's talk about that, because networking is so important. You have no idea, especially for a brand new technician or someone that's not out there, or someone who's out there that's just working but don't know where to go next or what to do next. MD Expo is so MD Expo is so important because business is done on the expo floor. They create an environment so you can talk to people, y'all can have fun together, they can see your personality when you're not on the clock, and a lot of them are people who want to get to know you and stay in contact. So when you reach out to on LinkedIn, they don't say, well, I don't know them, they say, oh, I met them before. Click. Yes. But it's also one where you open up the world of conversation, and you can reach out to the people you networked with at the conference, or you networked with at we can say also an AHRA or a Amy conference, or whatever you want to go to. I say MD Expo because, oh my gosh, do I have fun there? You said I could be myself. So yes, we do it up. We do it up. But networking is so important, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why. I'm well known in this industry, but I have not had to actually apply for a job in well over 12 years.
That's great.
More than 12 years. I would say more like 16 years. People already know me because I'm networked like that. So if they have something, they just reach out and say, hey, Jewel, I got this. Are you interested? And I go check it out. And then I'll say, okay, I am. Or no, I'm not. But number one, when you network well, your name precedes you. Right. So when they see your name on the resume on the table, like, hey, I know who this is. This is awesome. Yeah, I want to pick them up. Never, never, never shut networking. And if you're a quiet type and you really don't talk much and you really don't get in anybody's face, I am going to encourage you, get out of your comfort zone. Step up to someone and say, hello, I'm so and so. I'm a new biomed, and I was wondering if you have any thoughts or ideas about how I can get ahead or how I can best find a job in the industry. Anything to get them talking about the industry. Even if you want to talk about right to repair, hey, I've heard about this right to repair. What's it about? And let them talk to you. But you're meeting and collaborating and talking with people, and then you're beginning to build your network. Even on LinkedIn. LinkedIn will say, I recommend you talk to this person because y'all share the same field. Okay, click connect. Hey, I saw you on LinkedIn, want to connect. Then reach out every now and then. Happy birthday.
I love that.
You know.
One thing that you said. One thing that you said is about being introverted. I don't think anyone is ever going to accuse me of being an introvert. It's certainly not something that I could be, but I understand the hesitation and the apprehension sometimes of putting yourself out there and being nervous about how you'll be received. And that's why I think the in-person events and LinkedIn could really work so well together. Maybe if you are shy and a little more introverted, LinkedIn is your opportunity to follow some key contacts or influencers in the biomedical and the HTM industry. There are so many, from Jewel and a lot of the industry leaders that you know, to some of the social media influencers that we have today with Rhiannon and Justin and Chase and Brant Hawkins and so many new up and comers. These are people that you could follow from a social media standpoint. And when you get to a state association symposium or Amy or MD Expo, these are the people that you're going to see there, and they are kind and warm and welcoming individuals that you could walk up to and say, hey, Jewel, I watched that Tools of the Trade live demo. I really enjoyed it, and start a conversation that way. So I love the idea of LinkedIn and these in-person events working well together.
And so I'm gonna say this too. The reason why I say that and I speak hard about it is that a lot of you don't know Jewel is actually an introvert. I had to learn to be extroverted. And it's because I realized that as a new person getting out out of the army, I was an E5, but didn't really know anybody. I wasn't getting anywhere. I couldn't find anything that I'm looking for. And I'm like, okay, something has to change. And one of my mentors was like, you need to get out there and get to know people. And so I had to get up out of my comfort zone and open up and say, hi, I'm Jewel Newell. And yes, I know Jewel Newell, it rhymes. They crack jokes about it. They laughed at me at the emergency room. I'm like, ha, really? But they remembered my name. And that started for me. But I understand the introvert. I understand how hard it is to get out there and have that first conversation. I was that person. So you can clearly see, and now I'm not, but I was that person.
I love that. And you took the first step, and that's what it's about, taking the first step.
You have to.
I hope maybe today is the first step for somebody. And we're all about providing resources and saving time and money. Those are two things that TechNation focuses on when we're planning out editorial cost savings, as well as saving time for a healthcare facility. So that's going to take me to the last handout. We're almost at an hour. Tell our attendees about this coupon that you'll find in the handout section. It's 50% off 1 year of job hunting support services.
Right.
Cash this in? What does it get me? What can I do?
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to tell you honestly, when you are out there looking for a job, it's a struggle. You don't know if they're going to call you back. You don't know if you submitted the right resume. You don't know if they're, what kind of question they're going to ask you. You're going on an interview or to be prepared. And for a year, you can call me, reach out to me and say, hey, I got this. Look at my resume. I need a cover letter. Okay, let's write you a cover letter. I will sit here and I will work with you. You won't get a machine. You won't get an AI. You'll get me, an actual person. And I will be meeting with you. We'll have a face-to-face about what you want, what you're trying to do. We'll look at the job description together, see keywords that we need to point out. We will talk about what needs to be in the resume. I will help you build a resume. If you want to write it, you can have me look at it. If you say, hey, Jewel, this isn't doing it for me, can you write it? I will write it. And me and you get on the phone and talk about your skill sets and what you have, and I will write you a resume. Once you write your resume and you get that interview, because I'm saying right now, hey, I believe you're going to get it. I can't promise it, but I believe you're going to get it. But if you get the interview, I'm going to help prep you and help get you ready for that interview. We're going to do a mock interview. I'm going to ask you some tough questions, some easy questions, because they can ask you several different types of questions, and you need to be ready for any of them. And it's about helping you to know how to dress, how to sit, how to lean in to listen, how to be more connective, when to use humor and when not to use humor. But it's all, I work with you on all of those things so that by the time you have that interview, you're confident, you're ready, you can answer their questions. And when you get off the phone, you're either going to hear, you know what, we're going to be calling you, or you're going to hear, hey, when can you start? But that's my job, is to make you stand out. Now, I can't promise you you're going to get any job. Nobody can. However, I will say it's my job to make you more ready and feel more confident so that you can handle yourself in that interview. And that's what you'll get for an entire year, no matter what job you're applying for. If you apply for one and didn't get it and want to try again, hey, I'm right here. And if you need to restructure your resume for the next job and you send me the JD or the job description, I'll do that because I already have a copy of your resume. We'll fix it and we'll keep you going. And I'll say, hey, you want to do a mock interview once you get the interview? And we'll talk about that. How to ask for relocation allowance if they don't offer it. How to ask for more money if they're offering you. I am here as a resource for those. Remember, I've been on both sides. I've been the hiring manager and I've been the person looking for a job. So I know the conversation on both sides. Use my expertise and experience and let me help you find the best fit for you, and let me help you present the best you.
I love that so much, and let her do it at half the cost of what it normally would be by
That's
using
right.
that
So
coupon.
yeah, normal price for this for 1 year is $75. So it's 50% off for right now. And if you go on and sign up right now, you're as a subscriber, I'll reach out to you and you just let me know. I'm not the one to hound you, but when you need me, you reach out and say, all right, Jewel, I got this coming up. What do we need to do? And I'm going to be right there on your team, and we're going to do it.
I love that. Well, TechNation, I told you this was a tool that you were going to need in your tool belt, even though it's not going to be a tool that will help you work on a specific piece of equipment. It is a tool to help you get your foot in the door for this
Yes.
industry, to help you grow in this industry and take that next career step, or just maybe refine and build that emotional intelligence. And so you're well-rounded and ready to take that next step when it presents itself. So again, I'm going to tell all of the attendees that handout section has 4 PDFs for you to download. Of course, I'm so excited because we're going to put this conversation on TechNation TV on YouTube. So if you are an avid YouTube viewer, you can go to youtube.com/@TechNation_TV. That's where you're going to find our channel and multiple playlists and this interview. Of course, we're going to share it across our platforms as well. So you'll find it on our website. We'll share it with our friends at MedWrench, as well as our friends over at htmjobs.com. I'm so excited to say that this is our very first live Tools of a Trade that is eligible for 1 CE credit from the ACI. Woo! So TechNation attendees that were here today, help us spread the word. Next month, August, we're going to be back on August 24th. Yes, August 24th is the next Tools of the Trade. It's going to be with our friends over at Cinch. If you're not familiar with them, you can go to cinch.me, learn a little bit more, but register for that Tools of the Trade live demo at webinarwednesday.live. Jewel, I can't thank you enough for your time today and all of the information that you shared. I appreciate you so much. Any last words you want to share with us?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me. I have really enjoyed it. You and I always have a good time. And I hope you guys know out there on this video, everybody who's here, the way you see me now, this is how I am all the time. It doesn't change. I'm a live wire all the time. But take a moment, go over to nrc-htm.com. Reach out, contact, subscribe. Let's keep talking. I want to be here for you. Let me be a ready resource for you. I have really enjoyed this. Take advantage of the coupon and let's keep this going.
I love that. Well, if I don't see you sooner, I'll see you at MD Expo.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, TechNation, stay tuned. Go ahead and subscribe to TechNation TV on YouTube. Of course, we'll be back with you next month. I'll see you real soon. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.